Everybody, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Tammy Talks here. I'm late, but it's okay because we're going to talk about Ready to Love. So this is season 4, episode 14, the reunion part 2. So here I was feeling bad because I didn't watch the episode last night. I got up this morning, was supposed to watch the episode. I didn't. I'm like, wow, I'm late. This is going to be late. All this other type stuff. All for the episode to be boring. Was it boring for y'all like it was boring for me? Because it was boring for me. So let's go ahead and get into it. If you are brand new to my channel, I do breakdowns of TV shows, not just like recapping scene by scene, but I make sure to give thoughts, opinions, theories, all that type of stuff. So if you enjoy that type of content, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video, hop into the comment section, and let's talk about Reunion Part 2, which I guess there's a new season starting Friday already. I'll be here for it, but it's just kind of like this season just ended. TV is just going to cram seasons down our throats. As soon as you start liking something, they're like, oh, y'all like it? Y'all watching? We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and get into the recap, y'all. So the episode picks up right where the last part left off with Cecilia walking off stage because this is ghetto, because Camille is lying about, because Camille is lying about it being a voiceover. Cornelius is going to obviously take his girlfriend's back, and then everyone else, like, it's a lot of back and forth, but you are on a reality show, and that is what reunions are. It's mess. It's always going to be mess. Always and forever. Side note, I got like a new mic here, so if it's way too loud, y'all let me know in the comments, because I feel like I'm gonna like blow everybody's ears out. But people were saying with the other mic it was too quiet. Just a note. So the host is like, all right, let's move on from that, because no, we're not going to get anywhere. Camille's not going to be honest about what happened. There's like a clear division in the sand of who's friends and who's not, going back and forth. So it's kind of pointless at this point. So they're like, well, the host Tanika's like, well, everyone made connections, so that's great. And then Zadia is like, yes, let's highlight that me and Naim had a connection, because we did. And Zadia, no one cares. No one cares. We're talking about the couples that made it to the end. We're not talking about y'all that are each other's choice by default. So don't do that. So, and she said it like super rudely. And then Naim was like, yeah, because I left because she left. And my thing is like, Naim, this is not how you were this season. And it's kind of like Naim is with her, or he wants to be with Zadia. And because Zadia has this like awful personality and this like rude attitude, like he's kind of doing the same way. It's like he's trying to adopt this like matter of fact, sassy ass attitude, and it's not working for you, Naim, because it's coming across as forced, and it's just not a good look. It's just not a good look. So whatever, I'm sick of seeing them in a little matching red outfit anyways. So then we have Walter. And we talk about Walter and Sabrina. As we know, Walter chose Sabrina. Sabrina did not choose Walter because she said she felt like Walter was constantly treating her as his number 2. He wasn't calling. They weren't communicating. That was an issue for her. So Walter said he was definitely caught off guard by Sabrina not choosing him at the end. So he didn't have a problem with her decision. If that's how she felt, that's fine. His problem was that if they were so tight, they had such a connection, they were so close, he kind of feels like, if we were supposed to be, friends and all this other type of stuff, why didn't you call me and give me a heads up? So basically, don't sit up here and embarrass me on TV when you know you weren't going to choose me. And he just had that was like his issue, being completely blindsided, completely caught off guard. And he said he doesn't believe he treated her like a number 2. He said they were communicating the whole time, so he doesn't understand why she didn't, voice her concerns. Sabrina said, why would she call him and tell him that when they weren't talking? And so shout out to y'all in the comments that did remind me that she did say that to him a couple of times. They played the clips. And her whole thing is, we weren't talking, we weren't communicating, so why would I give you a heads up? Because if we were communicating the way that we should have been communicating, I wouldn't have had to not choose you, because shit would have been the way that it was supposed to be. And that's why I was like, I see what Sabrina is saying. I also see what Walter is saying. So it's a very thin line. Like Walter is really like, if we had this connection and we could have walked away as friends, we could have talked about this. But if you ain't picking up the phone, Walter, what is she supposed to do? So the host asks if there is, before that, the host asks Mumin, is she shocked? Mumin says she is. She said because she always thought that, it was always understood amongst everybody that Sabrina was Walter's number one. Walter was Sabrina's number one. So she said that she's just really shocked that she felt that way. And my whole thing is like, whether or not Walter was telling her that she was his number one, that's not going to negate how she feels. Because that's like the people that are married or in long-term relationships that feel like they come second to everything else in their spouse's life or their partner's life too. So it's very possible that two things can be true at the same time. So the host then asks, is there any way that they could rekindle their relationship? Sabrina says she's too old for Walter. Remember, people were saying that Walter does date younger women. Walter said the only reason he dates younger women is because he still wants to have kids. And Sabrina, which we've seen, has gone back and forth about wanting kids. So like at first Sabrina was telling them that she did not want more kids. Then it turned into her being a little more open to it. So he said the connection is still there. Never say never. Sabrina didn't really say anything. At the end of the segment, they get up, give each other a long hug. And you can tell that there's still something there, even though they haven't spoken. Whether they'll get together and rekindle that, who knows? So we have a clip on Cornelius and Courtney. So remember, Courtney really wanted to date Cornelius. She liked him. They did that whole double date. What irritated me about this entire package is, Cornelius, you are saying you're with Camille, right? Y'all two are together. Courtney is out of the picture. Courtney is no longer interested in you. But when they were showing these clips, Cornelius looked scared. Like he kept looking at Camille. Like they would show a clip of Courtney casually putting her hand on his thigh, and he was looking over at Camille, who was just like, and it's like, girl, relax, y'all. You have to understand, you were on the show. So my thing is so if there's footage of y'all from college or something like that, and somebody posted on their Instagram, is Cornelius supposed to be nervous about that? Are you going to freak out about that? That just really, really bothered me about Camille. There is something off about that lady, y'all. There is something off about her, and it comes across as Cornelius is just scared to admit that he don't want to be with her. But I know that some tea has come out about it. I think I've mentioned before, my brother went to college with Cornelius. They were on the track team together. So I'm going to ask him if they really together. I'm going to be text Corn and see if they really, see if they really together. So Courtney said that everyone has a preference. She's not willing. She can't see herself waiting 2 years to have sex with someone she's dating. She's a very sexual being. Cornelius would prefer to wait until sex. She says she respects his choices. She respects that. But because of that, they're just not going to be good together. She is happy that he has found Camille, she's happy that he found Camille, who the two of them are having understanding. They have agreed that they are going to, wait. They have an understanding that works for both of them. And she's happy that they have that. And she's hoping that it works out for the both of them together. So we have Corey. This Corey segment, y'all, I don't like to talk super trendy, but I'm going to call cap on Corey. So they talk about how Corey was copy paste, how Corey would see all these women and give everybody the same, treatment, kind of back and forth. So then they show this never before seen clip, which is footage of which is footage. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm watching the Packer game and we just fumbled the damn ball. But which is footage of Corey crying in a confessional because he feels like he doesn't know why he does the things he does. And Mumin was like, is that real? And Camille kind of japped off real quick and was like, we're not going to discount his tears. It's real. So Corey starts crying again. I'm talking real tears, y'all. Eyes red, streaming, right? He said that he does the things that he does. He's over the top the way he's over the top because he wants to receive the same type of love that he sees his mother give his father. Okay? So he said that's why he does the over the top stuff. Sabrina said that she used to talk a lot of junk about Corey because of the way that he was moving, the way that he was going about, like everybody was. And she thinks that, but now she understands that he's just very misunderstood. She said that Camille used to always take up for him. No matter what, Camille always took up for Corey. Like, she would always tell people that give him a chance. But Sabrina thinks that Corey just interprets things. He thinks about things in a way that the rest of us don't. And I'm like, that's fine. That's fine. But it's still odd what he was doing. So Corey said that he would date women and would always be doing too much, or they would always say he's doing too much. And so he started to think it was something wrong with him. He said that, but he goes into every relationship, every date, every encounter with a woman under the guise of what if this is the one for me? What if this is, you know what I mean? And I can understand that. But like Courtney said, it doesn't, because the host asked Courtney and Mumin if they feel any differently now. And Courtney said no, because the way he goes about it is still weird. Corey mentions that, he carved him and Mumin's initials into a tree on their first date. That's fucking weird. It is. I'm sorry, but it's weird. It's overly aggressive, not in a dangerous way, but it's weird. So Mumin said that, if you're doing stuff like that for every single woman that you're dating, every single woman that you're interested in or talking to, it doesn't make you feel special. And I think that's the part that Corey is missing. If you're a person that you do grand gestures and stuff like that, that's fine. Save that for when you're in a relationship. But if you're on a show like this and you're doing all these romantic gestures and these over-the-top things and, delusions of grandeur and stuff like that, it's not going to make it's not going to make any of the women seem special or feel appreciated. And on top of that, Corey kept lying about it. You know what I mean? Like, he kept telling everybody, I want you to meet my mom. And then when confronted, he would lie about it. And that's why I'm calling cap on Corey, because it's like, it seems very disingenuous. I feel like Corey has used that crying before to get out of situations like this, where his back is against the wall and he's forced to really admit what he's been doing, or kind of fess up to the bull that he's been, going around doing. So then we get to see a segment, right? I guess the show's not too ghetto as long as she's getting to talk. But her, kind of japping out a little bit, that's not ghetto. It's only ghetto when it doesn't involve her. She wasn't thinking about her mom being in the hospital when it's her time to talk, and she's all smiles, all teeth and grins. So Cecilia said that she wanted to be chased and pursued on the show. So she came in with the approach of wanting to sit back and play it cool. She was going to wait for the men to come after her. She didn't show a whole lot of interest. And we saw how that worked out for her. So, but then it turns into her saying that she's been waiting for Corey to tell this truth the whole time. And she pressed her imaginary button and said she was choosing violence. And I'm like, what is going on? So come to find out, well, this is how it went. Corey said a lot of guys weren't feeling to see his approach, right? But he was hanging out with Cecilia. He said after they initially met and they hung out, he started to realize that she's super cool. She's really laid back. This could be somebody that I could be interested in. So then Cecilia was like, well, it was actually another part to that love triangle. And I'm like, then it's not a triangle. It's a square. But she was like, there's a third part to the triangle of Corey, Moomin, and Courtney. She was like, tell the truth, Corey. Tell the truth, Corey. I guess that's not ghetto, though. That's not ghetto. The hand and all of this and the elevation of her voice, that's not ghetto. It's only ghetto when the camera is not on her. Okay. So basically, Cecilia said that she was all the same stuff that Corey was saying to Courtney and Moomin. He was saying to her as well. It just wasn't televised, and that stuff wasn't put on. That stuff wasn't necessarily recorded the way that it was. She's claiming to have text messages with Corey telling her the exact same stuff. Corey said that Cecilia was his dark horse. And then she got offended by that because Cecilia gets offended by everything. And Cecilia said that Corey was requesting dates from her. He was like, I have the text messages. She said she had the text messages too. And if we wanted to pull out some receipts, we can pull out some receipts. So Walter said that, because Corey then said that when he used to defend her to all the guys, I was defending you all the time. And Walter said, I haven't said much this reunion, but I'm gonna call bull on that, because none of the men were ever talking shit about Cecilia. None of the men were ever putting Cecilia in their bottom. We all like Cecilia. So then Cecilia gets up and sachets and struts around stage in that what's that, satin? So she struts around stage as if she's won a prize, because Walter said the men never put her in the bottom, but she clearly was put in the bottom, because she was in the bottom twice and she got sent home. So Phil said Corey was playing. So my whole thing is, I feel like Corey was trying to put on in this segment for whatever reason. Maybe Corey wanted some airtime. I fully believe Corey came on the show just for the attention, the notoriety, the fan base he could possibly get. And that's why I think the tears factored into that, for the sympathy factor. So then Cecilia said that no one on the cast has a second chance with her because she don't spin the block twice. And it's like, girl, nobody wanted a first chance with you. So, of course, nobody wants the second chance, but all right, Cecilia, I hope you find somebody. I feel like Cecilia might be a sweetheart. She might have a great spirit, but the way that Cecilia presented herself on this show was in a very kind of negative, like, I think I'm better than everybody that's here. I'm not going to be on this show and try to make connections. I want y'all to chase after me. It was the wrong vibe for the show, and I think some of them just kind of realized this was just not the show for them. Right? It's not the setup. So we talk about Zadia. Zadia wasn't embarrassed by her behavior at all. With Dante, casually was like, I'm sorry again, Dante. Apparently they have already spoken and resolved that issue. She then highlights that Naim is very fun. And it's like, that was random. What I think happened is Zadia and Naim decided to have each other's back no matter what, with Camille and Cornelius. So no matter what either of them four said, we're all going to go in and get loud about it and make sure we all agree, because that way we can show a united front, and then we'll have more people kind of, helping out, push whatever narrative we want to push out. So she said that Naim was not a consolation for her, but he was, because you told Dante I was going to choose you. So that would mean that Dante is your number one, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't understand what number one means, but I feel like saying I choose you is her telling Dante you're going to be my number one. Nonetheless, she said that she went on with Naim because they had a really strong connection. So if you had a really strong connection with him, why didn't we see a scene with you choosing Naim? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but to me, it doesn't make sense. So, they asked Naim about the red flags, and he was like, yeah, I saw the red flags, and, I heard them, but it had no effect on my choice because you were thirsty. That's basically all it came down to. Two number twos picked each other. And that's just what it is. Everybody is acting as if being a number two is like this awful, awful event where if y'all are together, then y'all the ones that chose to settle for each other. Okay. So then we talk about Dante and Aisha. What I thought was weird about this segment, Dante and Aisha are still together. Aisha said that when they were asked about marriage, that she wants to take her time with it. She's been married before, he is not. So she wants to make sure that the next step that they take is best for both of them. They want to make sure that it's ready for her and it's best for him. Plus, they got 5 kids between the two of them. So we got to make sure that them combining these families, that everything works out the best way that it should. What I thought was weird is that they kept showing Camille, Cornelius, Zadia, and Naim. Zadia at least was smiling and could clap during their package. Naim was just looking all over the place, but Cornelius was like staring at Camille the whole time, and Camille was looking everywhere but at them. And my thing is like, what beef do you even have with this woman? What beef could you possibly have with this woman that you can't even look at her? I thought it was really weird. And then I got sick of the cameraman. She's not going to make a face. Camille's not going to give us anything. So, stop showing her. Stop showing her. So then at the very end, the host says that they always want to give an opportunity for last words, last thoughts. Anybody want to try to shoot their shot in the end? And Tyrone asks if the host was an option. And I said, ain't she married? But it was a good laugh, and then that was it. It was a very, very lackluster part 2. I don't know how I have talked for 20 minutes about it. But if you have not already, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, and I will catch you guys Friday for the new episode, the new season. Catch you guys next time.